Today I was inspired to talk about the traditional seance. Now, nowadays, in a lot of spiritualist churches, as well as out in the world of metaphysical environments, New Age centers, metaphysical centers, all of that, they hold what some might say is a traditional seance, but they have named it differently. And I think that in a lot of ways, the name began to change because the word seance had so many negative connotations in terms of people's misunderstandings of it, and also, quite frankly, in terms of some of the history of some of the frauds that use certain things in seance to, and perhaps still do, to fool the public and to take advantage of their vulnerability and their need to seek a connection with their departed loved ones and their guides and with spirit. So I very often, when I'm doing circles, I still reference it as a seance. And many places I go, I'll put both. I'll put seance/message circle so that people can have a little bit of a better understanding. But it's important to me as a spiritualist minister to uphold the traditional seance. In terms of the seance, here's the thing. Seance itself comes from the French meaning sessions, to sit. So one could even have a seance at the theater, meaning they're having a session at the theater. They're sitting at the theater, right? So session just means sitting, to sit, to have a session. And at the onset of modern spiritualism, they had these sitting sessions where mediums and ministers and other people that weren't yet mediums would sit together to commune with spirit. Now, some people in days of old, or maybe even currently, still see it as though we're waking the dead or we're summoning spirits and all of that. And look, that's all just semantics. The verbiage that's used is just semantics. So I can't talk about what other people do. I can talk about what I do. And I can talk about what I believe in, and I can talk about what my experience has been. And I can talk to you about why I would strongly encourage you to attend a sitting or a session where you are in communion with spirit, providing that you're doing it in a place and with a person that you trust, or maybe one of your friends trusts. That the person is ethical, that they're honest, and that they uphold the strongest integrity in the work that they do. Now, for me, one of the things about a seance that I prefer to, well, maybe let me back it up for a moment. Because again, I was talking about a lot of places now call it spirit message circles, psychic message circles, angel message circles, all of these things to kind of appease us and make us feel a little more comfortable. And I'm not against people feeling comfortable. But also what's happened in more recent years is we've gone from communing, all sitters communing with spirit and developing their own connection to spirit and having their own experience of spirit, to what I like to call a psychic gallery with the lights out, right? However, many of you, I'm sure, have been in psychic galleries before. Great things to do, right? Think about it like John Edwards standing on the stage, or someone else, some medium, James Van Praagh, all of them that we know from the news and TV shows and everything. They stand on the stage and they go to particular people and they deliver a message from spirit. They'll usually give some evidential data about the person they're connecting with, and then they'll deliver a message. Great stuff. Helps you to know your loved ones are still around, and also helps you to know that they are watching out for you, that they are there to support you, so on and so forth. Right? The idea behind it is creating an environment to invite spirit in. And when I say spirit, I'm talking about maybe our ancestors, maybe our guides, maybe angelic beings, maybe nature spirits, four-legged friends, winged ones, whatever would come in for our highest good. And for those of you already saying, well, isn't that dangerous? What if something negative comes in? I can tell you, and part of this was because I was trained quite strictly on how to create the environment for a positive experience for everyone. And so I have never had in a circle anything negative come in to a circle. Because if you think of it as energy, right? That if the vibrational frequency is high enough in a circle, then lower frequencies can't get through. So if you were to think about it like electricity, like let's say it's 220 volts. I'm going to just keep it simple. 220 volts resonating frequency in and around the room where the circle is being held. If you have 110 volts would be, so the more negative type of energies would be a lower frequency, more rooted to the earth, all of that, right? So if you go to plug 110 volt hairdryer into a 220 volt outlet, nothing happens. So it cannot permeate, right? So that's why you also need someone skilled in creating a particular type of environment for circles. You know, a lot of people say, well, why are the lights off? Why do you turn the lights off? Is it because, oh, you want to sneak things? Look, there's lots of people that have done that in the past, right? And probably still some that do. They have the lights off so they can like make the trumpet float or make things happen or anything like that. Personally, I like the lights out for a couple of reasons. One is, when the lights are down, our rational brain, that left side of our brain, turns off. And the right side of the brain can be activated more, right? So it sort of, if we're not seeing as much with our physical eyes, we're not trying to analyze it. We're not using, again, that left brain, which has nothing to do with the intuition, right? That left brain is already engaged. So with the lights out, that helps us to get into a more centered, quiet, relaxed place and open our minds and our intuition a little bit more. The other thing that it affords us is the opportunity to see different things. Spirit lights, as we like to call it, they're like little fireflies that go through the room. Colors, things like that happen. It can it enables us to tap much more into our ability to see beyond, right? To see with our third eye, or even, to see in the room physical phenomena. I want to talk about some of the other paraphernalia, if you will, of the seance. Well, one major piece of paraphernalia for the seance, and that is the seance trumpet. One of my favorite things. And actually, there should really be these rings on here at each section. So you see it kind of, you can fold it down for easy carrying, and you open it up for the seance. Now, again, in days of old, it is said that this is made of aluminum, by the way, that the trumpets, that spirit could use our ectoplasm, the energy or that sticky stuff, right? That is around our bodies, and it could use it to lift it up. Now, we all know that there have been some charlatans that have attached things and lifted up, and they go zooming through the room and all of that. I have never had a trumpet go zooming through the room before, I'll be honest with you. Now, I would love to have that happen when I'm conducting, so that I know that it's not a trick. So I know someone hasn't somehow attached wires. I mean, I would be the first person to get up and be like, let me take a look at that. Because I am one of the most skeptical psychics and mediums you ever want to meet. And I think it's really important to be that way. So not stubborn and closed, but skeptical, right? So, taking into account that sometimes there are everyday mundane things occurring that could make us believe that it's paranormal or extra normal, which again, I don't even believe that it's extra. I believe it is normal. But in our current way that we live our lives, I think it's a little bit harder. So anyway, 1, levitation. 2, what we call, now this I've experienced and I've heard, spirit wrapping. So spirit will again use energy to tap upon the trumpet, again, as a means of communication. Now, in days of old, again, some people might ask spirit yes and no questions, and they might tap once for yes, twice for no, or vice versa. I don't do any of that. I like to sort of say, okay, just demonstrate that you're here. I'm not going to ask you 50 questions. Also, I hate yes, no things because I think that it limits us, right? Because if you don't ask the right question, you could get a no because you didn't ask the right question. So I like to kind of get a little more information from spirit than that. So spirit wrappings. Now, there's also what's called direct voice, which is not the same as like when I channel or something, but direct voice is sort of when they say, now I haven't heard this either. I have heard voice in a room. I've heard drumming. I've heard all sorts of things, but I have not heard voice coming through the trumpet. Or I think maybe they also said that it happens. Yeah, I guess that makes more noise. Ooh, that's going right in my Yeti mic, so it's got to be really loud. But anyway, so I've never heard it come through something like that. Now, again, that's something really easy for people to be fraudulent about and all of that. But I'm not interested in being fraudulent. I'm interested in having the most opportunities to see, feel, and experience spirit, and to create a venue or a forum for other people to do that as well. So another thing that, in addition to levitation with the trumpet, another thing that one can do is placing it flat on the table like this. So you can see oftentimes the energy around the trumpet, and also at times like we did last month, we placed it on a piece of paper and then we drew a circle right at the bottom of it. Some of you may have seen it on my Facebook page. That after the circle, not a lot, I'll be honest, not a lot of movement. I would like to see more, and I have seen more before, but it was still encouraging that because some of us that were sitting together had never that group of people had never sat together all as a group before. I had sat with different ones of them and all of that, but never as one before. So the other thing is, and I don't have these glow in the dark bands, right? And the purpose of that is that if you place it, whether it's this way or whether it's this way on the table in the center of the room for the seance, it glows in the dark. And when spirit's moving through the room, you'll notice if I'm sitting this way to it, I'm like, oh, that glow in the dark stuff just disappeared. Oh, there it is. It's there again. Oh, no, it's gone again. Oh, it's there again. That gives us a little clue that spirit is kind of filling the room up more with energy. So that's another use of the trumpet. So the other thing we often put in the room is flowers. That's a gift to spirit. And as you know, many of us, when people pass, people give flowers or bring flowers to the cemetery. So we might put flowers. As you can see, I don't have any on my altar right now. How quite remiss of me. I actually just got rid of some that were there. So I'll get some more today. So I bring flowers all the time for my ancestors. But so flowers in the center of the room. Another thing we use that for is a gift to spirit, a gratitude. But also when you have the flowers in the room, you can often also see in the center of the room activity around that, the lights around that, the ectoplasm building around it. Spirit will play with it and all of that. Lots of other things that people might use in seances. Some people do table tipping seances. To me, the seance is again about empowering each of you, empowering the sitters to know and understand that they have the same access to their ancestors, to their guides, to their angelic loved ones, to their archangels, whatever things they are aligned with. You have the same access point as I do. And my job, I always tell people the best job I could do is to work myself out of a job. And I believe that. Hopefully I'll make enough money for retirement by then. But my best job I could do is to hand this over to each and every person that I meet and get them to a place of really understanding it, really experiencing it, and really trusting their own ability to do it. Because what's better than that? I mean, again, it's wonderful to receive a message from our loved ones. I, even myself, enjoy it, although I seldom get them, but mostly because I talk to them all the time, probably. And they order me around and all of that. But listen, what if you can have more than that? What if you can have the ability to access spirit, to really feel them there, Instead of just me giving you a message, what if you were to see him? What if you were to feel him? What if you were to know? What if you were able to walk around each and every day knowing, not just here, but having a visceral understanding that you're not alone? And that when times are difficult, when you're missing your loved ones, you have easy access. And it's not just you talking to yourself. Also, by the way, when you have a bunch of people sitting together and you meditate first, that like helps you go into deeper states of meditation. And also when there's a lot of people sitting together, it's still, look, I've been doing this a long time, and while I certainly can have physical phenomena happen when I'm here alone, there's more that happens, generally speaking, when I'm with a group of people, because there's a synergistic effect. And also Spirit kind of likes to impress us more when there's a group, right? It's better to impress an audience than one person. So, so that's kind of, you know, so nowadays, again, going back to what I was saying in the beginning about, you know, the modernization of the traditional seance. And I'm not knocking it at all. What I am saying is you don't have to be afraid of a seance. Its roots are nothing different than the modern message circle or psychic development circle or angel message circle. All of those are just names to make y'all feel better. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And again, as a spiritualist minister, right? So someone that believes in ministering to others, I want to also encourage my fellow spiritualists and other spiritualist ministers to take back that name, man. Take back the name of seance. Or call it what you want, but allow the participants to have an experience. Don't just impress them with your messages, because that's easy to do. But why do it? You know, I mean, yes, we want to bring you comfort. We want to bring you healing. We want, or give you the opportunity to heal. We want to bring you reassurance. But I want to bring you a whole hell of a lot more than that. So if you want to know more about anything I'm doing, you can visit mediumjuliemacdonald.com, or again, send me an email. Let me know your thoughts on the seance. Info@mediumjuliemacdonald.com. All right, ciao.